The words cut through my bedroom door like shattered glass. "We're not your slaves, old man." My son David's voice echoed through the hallway, loud enough to wake the entire neighborhood. I lay motionless in my hospital bed at home, chest wrapped in bandages, still recovering from the heart surgery that had drained my life savings. Behind David stood his wife Rachel, arms folded, wearing that familiar smirk of contempt I'd grown to recognize in my own house. That's when something inside me snapped. With the calmest voice I could muster, I delivered my verdict. "You have exactly 48 hours to vacate my property." It wasn't always a battlefield. I raised David as a single father after his mother abandoned us when he was 7. I worked 3 jobs, lived on instant noodles, sold my motorcycle, and sacrificed every dream I had just so he could have music lessons, college tuition, and a future. I never asked for gratitude. Just hoped that someday, when my body failed me, he'd remember the man who never failed him. How wrong I was. When David met Rachel at 29, she seemed perfect. Ambitious, articulate, confident. But I noticed how she never looked me in the eye. How conversations died when I entered rooms. How she treated my home like a free hotel. David was blind to it all, claiming she made him complete. So I smiled, paid for their extravagant wedding, and offered them the entire second floor of my house rent-free while they saved for their dream home. The transformation was surgical in its precision. First, family dinners became couples time only. Then my opinions became outdated advice. Soon I was tiptoeing through my own hallways, afraid to disturb the royalty living above me. They stopped saying please and thank you. They stopped saying anything at all. Then came the heart attack. I woke up in the ICU alone. No flowers. No visitors. Just a text from David. "Heard you're okay. Rachel and I are in Cancun. Back next week." When I finally returned home, broken and hollow, the house was empty. No welcome banner. No homemade soup. Just a sticky note on my refrigerator. "Call if you die or something. DNR. I called once, desperate for human connection. Rachel answered, annoyed. "David's gaming. Can't this wait?" When I explained I couldn't reach my medication, she sighed dramatically and sent David down with a glass of water and attitude. That night, as I writhed in pain on my bathroom floor, I heard them upstairs hosting a poker night, laughing until 3 a.m. That's when the old me died and someone else was born. I started collecting evidence like a private detective. Screenshots of ignored emergency calls. Audio recordings of their late-night parties while I suffered below. Photos of them using my credit cards for luxury purchases while I rationed my heart medication. Most importantly, I made a call to my attorney, confirming what I already knew. The house deed bore only my name. David had no legal claim whatsoever. 2 weeks after surgery, I asked David to help me change my bandages. He laughed. Actually laughed and said, "That's what nurses are for, Dad." Rachel chimed in with her venomous finale. "We're not your slaves, old man." I stared at this stranger wearing my son's face, and I realized the boy I raised had died long ago. Standing slowly, ignoring the fire in my chest, I spoke my final words to them. "You have exactly 48 hours to vacate my property." The shock was delicious. David stammered. "You can't be serious. You're sick. You need us." I smiled for the first time in months. "I need you like poison needs an antidote." Within hours, I served them official eviction papers. I changed every lock, password, and code in the house. I canceled their phone plan, removed them from my insurance, and froze the emergency fund they'd been secretly draining. When they pounded on my door, I pretended to sleep. When they begged through text messages, I forwarded everything to my lawyer. On eviction morning, they stood at my doorstep with their designer luggage, looking like refugees from their own entitlement. Rachel spat her final insult. "You're a heartless monster." I looked directly into her soul and replied, "A monster is someone who abandons their father during heart surgery to party in Mexico. A monster is someone who steals from the man who gave them everything. Look in the mirror." They left without hugs, without apologies, without backward glances. But here's the twist. I didn't feel broken. Felt reborn. 6 months later, I converted David's room into an art studio. I adopted a rescue dog named Justice. I started dating again. Really living again. My heart healed stronger than before, and so did my spirit. Sometimes the universe doesn't deliver justice. But sometimes if you stay quiet long enough to let fools expose their true nature, you get something infinitely better. Freedom. They thought I was weak, fragile, desperate. They forgot one crucial detail. I wasn't just their victim. I was their landlord, their benefactor, and their judge. The house is peaceful now. Justice and I watch sunsets from the porch they once claimed as theirs. And sometimes late at night, I smile knowing they're discovering what the world looks like when you have to pay your own way.